Hi there, and welcome to Hyundai Power Equipment. My name's Adrian, and today we're going to look at the HYM460SPR lawn mower. So I've laid the contents of your packaging out on the table for you to see. First of all, we've got the mower itself with its two-part handle laid on top. Little bit of assembly needed, we shall go through that. Secondly, we've got the large grass collection basket, which comes with a separate handle. A little bit of assembly needed again, we shall go through that. And finally, we've got the comprehensive user manual. Now, I do recommend that you read the user manual before commencing work. And that's the contents of your packaging. So our first step is going to be to assemble the handle. First of all, you'll find this U-shaped piece of material, which is the lower handle. We'll place that to one side for the moment. And then we have the upper handle. Now the upper handle has 3 control cables already attached to it. Now be very careful when you're assembling this, as the upper handle could easily damage the 3 cables. It comes twisted around 180 degrees. You'll see the cables from this side come over here and the cable from this side goes over here. So just rotate it 180 degrees and you'll see the 2 cables that side are on that side and this side are on this side. Fairly straightforward. And then we can lay the upper handle, being careful not to twist or snatch any of the cables or kink anything as we place it down out of the way. And that's the first step prior to fitting the lower handle. So let's move on to fitting the lower handle. So the first thing I'm going to do, now that I've untwisted the top handle, is to move it over to this side of the mower, again taking care not to trap any of the cables to get it out of the way. Now this is quite important because these cables have to pass over the top of the lower handle when it's assembled. Okay, let's move on to the lower handle. I've just pulled the protective film out of the way. You'll notice that there are 4 nuts and bolts in the lower half of the handle. 2 on the left and 2 on the right. So I'll just remove those. And again, 2 on the other side as well. If you find that any of the nuts or bolts are missing out of these, they are only just put together loosely in their right position, so they could be in the bottom of your packaging. So if you've got any one of these nuts or bolts missing, just have a look in the bottom of the box. So this handle will only go on the one way round. Well, it will go on either way, but you will see that on the one side you have a wire pigtail. This goes on the right hand side from the operator position, ready to accept the pull starter, which passes through the metal loop. Okay, so you'll notice that there are 2 square holes in the bottom of the handle and 2 square holes here in the chassis. So taking one of the bolts from the inside towards the outside, simply fit it through the 2 holes, and I'll just fasten a nut on there loosely. Exactly the same on this side, a bolt from the inside out with a nut on the outside, and I'll just fasten it here loosely. So having gone that far, I can just swing the handle up into position with a little wriggle, place the bottom bolt in through the hole, and again do up the nut, just finger tight for now. And exactly the same with the 4th one, through the hole, aligning the little square on the bolt with the square in the hole. And I can now begin to tighten up the nuts. So using a 12mm spanner, I'll just nip these ones up. You're now in a position to tighten up all the 4 bolts. Exactly the same. So that one tight. And that one. And that's the lower handle fitted. So the next part of fitting the handle is to fit the upper to the lower handle. A little bit of preparation. First of all, you'll see the two plastic wing nuts and bolts on the lower handle. We'll remove these first of all. And on this side you have the little pigtail. So we'll remove those. And we could actually leave that bolt in position temporarily in that hole. So I'll remove the hand wheel. Sorry, I'm getting in your way here. So I'll just leave that bolt in so you can see. And there are also two plastic cable retaining clips. We'll just pull those down out of the way for the time being. So we'll take the upper handle, again being careful not to twist or trap any of the cables. We'll take this cable here, which goes to the start and run switch, to the outside of the mower, pass it over that bolt and simply pop that bolt through that hole. And the bolt goes from the inside towards the outside. And again, I'll do exactly the same here, taking care not to trap the cable and place that bolt through that hole. So our final step here is simply to refit the little hand wheel. So that's that side tight. Oh, just about. A little bit more. Okay. So now I can refit the pigtail with the closed loop over the bolt and the pigtail facing upwards. Again, I'm taking care not to trap a cable. Just place it over there towards the inside temporarily. And tighten up the hand wheel. The final little bit of tidying up, we can take the little plastic cable clips and place them over the cable with the handle to secure them firmly in place. And exactly the same with this one. We'll take the two cables, the plastic clip, and secure those cables in place. The final step, now I haven't pulled the OPC cable so the mower isn't going to start, so I'll gently withdraw the pull start cable, hold it up here on the top of the handle and just loop it through the pigtail. And that's the pull starter in the operator position. I'll give you a little close-up of that. So to place the pull start cord in the pigtail, simply pull out on the pull cord, place it against the front, around the back, into the loop and release, and that's the pull starter in position in the pigtail. And there we are, simple as that. So let's move on to the assembly of the grass catchment basket. You'll notice that in the top of the basket are two holes. One fairly square hole and one smaller rectangular hole. Similarly, on the handle, you have a square lug here, and on the narrower end, a smaller lug. Place the bottom of the bracket, squeezing on the sides, into the hole, and exactly the same on the top, a little wriggle, squeeze the sides, and into the hole. Just make sure that it's firmly down, pretty straightforward, and that's the handle fitted. Your lawnmower is shipped to you without engine oil in it. Now it's vitally important that you fill the oil correctly in the engine before even attempting to start the lawnmower. The engine oil grade is a 1030 or 1540 grade engine oil, and I'll show you how that's done. The engine oil is filled through this filler tube and combined dipstick here. To unscrew the dipstick, turn it anti-clockwise and withdraw the dipstick. On the dipstick there is a cross-hatched area on the end of it, and at the top of that cross-hatched area is the word max, and that would be the amount of oil that we're looking for up on the dipstick to the max line. So using a suitable container, gradually fill the engine oil, allowing it time to go down the filler neck and into the engine before dipping, otherwise one could be dipping into the oil that's still in the tube, and gradually fill it step by step until you reach the desired level, and I'll show you the desired level. And that is the maximum amount of oil, exactly right. So having filled it up to the desired level, replace the dipstick, and screw it into position firmly. And there we are, that's the engine oil filled. Let's move on to adding fuel to your lawnmower. First of all, a couple of safety notes. Never fill the lawnmower with fuel when the engine is hot to avoid a fire risk. Certainly not when the engine is running. And should you spill any fuel, wipe it all up and allow it time to evaporate before restarting the mower. If you just stop the mower, the exhaust could be hot, all sorts of problems, so allow it time to cool before refilling with fuel. Okay, let's move on. The fuel filler cap is located here on the rear left-hand side of the engine. We'll just remove that label. And to remove the cap, unscrew anti-clockwise. Now your mower uses fresh unleaded fuel. So using a suitable container again, fill the fuel tank to within about 25 millimeters of the top of the filler neck, so about an inch down. Don't overfill it because there's no room for the expansion of the fuel in the tank. About 25 millimeters down from the top would be the full level. So having filled it with fresh unleaded fuel, simply replace the filler cap, screwing it down firmly. And that is how to fuel your lawnmower. Let's move on to the controls and starting procedure and stopping procedure for your lawnmower. There are 3 controls and a pull starter. The front handle is called the OPC, which is Operator Present Control. Basically it's a start-stop switch. Unless this front handle is pulled back, the mower will not start. If at any time you let go of this front handle, the mower will stop, the engine will stop. So think of it as an on-off switch. So you need to have the handle pulled back, or the operator has to be present there for the lawnmower to start. Should at any time you let go of the handle, the lawnmower will stop. So to start the lawnmower, we would first need to switch it on by pulling back the OPC handle. Here, this lever on the right hand side, or the left hand side of the lawnmower, it's my right, but the left hand side from the operator position, is a choke lever. That would be the run position once the engine has started, right forward, and pull it right back to operate the choke for the lawnmower. So to start the lawnmower, from cold, right back into the choke position, pull on the OPC handle and pull start the lawnmower. Once the lawnmower has started, you can push the choke forward to the run position. Whenever you want to stop the mower, you can release the OPC handle, the Operator Present Control or Start-Stop handle. For a warm start, again, pull back the OPC handle. You won't need to put the choke on every time. If it's particularly warm, the engine, you may not need to use the choke. So from the run position and then pull start the lawnmower. If it is slightly warm, you may find that halfway back on the lever will do for a start. Okay. Once the mower has started, to engage the drive of the roller to drive away, you will need to pull back on the rear handle, which engages the drive and the mower will pull away under its own power. To disengage the drive, release the rear handle. To stop the mower, release the front handle. If at any time you take both hands off the controls, the engine will stop and the mower will come to a stop. So that's the stop-start procedure for your lawnmower. There are 2 ways the mower can be used. First is the cut and drop method, where you would cut the grass and it basically would drop out of the back, so you don't need to fit the basket. The grass is discharged through this chute and back out through the rear of the mower. Never lift this flap when the mower is running because it will give you direct access to the blades. Okay, the second is to fit the collection basket. Now you will see on the mower, on the collection basket, there are 2 hooks. And on the rear of the mower, there are 2 shelves here which the hooks will fit into. Just lift that right up so you can see. Simply locate the basket in the 2 hooks and lower the flap to fit the grass collection basket. And to remove the basket, just lift the flap and lift the collection basket out of the way. It's as simple as that. Your mower has a single point cutting height adjustment, so there's no need for any spanners or anything like that when adjusting the cutting height. 7 positions from the lowest at number 1, where the mower is right down. Let's go to say number 5, which is fairly long grass, right up to its maximum height at number 7. By pulling the lever out, you can adjust the height of the 2 front wheels and the roller in one simple adjustment. So that's the 7 position cutting height adjustment arm. I do hope you found this demonstration useful. For more information on this or any of our other products, visit www.hyundaipowerequipment.co.uk. I've been Adrian, and happy mowing.